All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show, just back from Scottsdale, Arizona, courtesy of New York style Italian sausage. And we're doing a 49er video because today free agency officially kicks off, and the Niners have been incredibly active, and they're bolstering their D line. Now, we already talked a little bit about how the Niners have signed Javon Hargrave. That was the monster move inside. Now you got Hargrave, has to be doubled up front. You got Armstead, who occasionally has to be combo blocked. You got Bosa, who's got to be combo blocked. Love the addition of Hargrave, but this under the radar move of the re-signing of Kevin Givens is huge. Matt Barrows of The Athletic reported the agreement first. It's a 1-year contract worth $2.1 million with $2 million guaranteed. Now, I love Givens at Penn State. He was a really, really good player, played at about 280. He's bulked up a little bit. I would say he's probably a little bit more like 285, 290. He was an undrafted free agent, and only played in one game as a rookie in 2019. But the Niners knew what they had because this guy's got quickness and plays with leverage. He plays low to the ground. He's played in 13 games in each of the last 3 years as a key member of the 49ers defensive line rotation. So I personally think that this is a great re-signing by the 49ers because Givens is a guy who can really rush the passer inside. And when you look at what those guys are getting in free agency, the fact that the 49ers, I thought this was a player that for sure with the league becoming a passing league, with teams in the sub package 70% of the snaps, they're passing a ton. A team's now going for it on fourth down. And I just thought that would have put an incredible premium on the interior pass rushers. Now, Givens was not unrestricted. He was restricted. So it wasn't like the 49ers didn't have an ability to match. But the fact that they got this done early shows that they prioritize the defensive line and that they prioritize Kevin Givens. So now look at that front. You got Hargrave and Armstead inside. You got Bosa outside. You still got a big decision. Are you going to re-sign Ebukam? Are you going to re-sign Jordan Willis? Are you going to re-sign Charles Omenihu? Are you going to re-sign Kerry Hyder? But today, your starting defensive line is Bosa, Armstead, Hargrave, and let's throw in Drake Jackson. That's a damn good defensive line right there. And now you still have Kinlaw for the moment. I don't know if Kinlaw is going to be here long term, but you have him for the moment. I could see him being traded. Kevin Givens, though, is now back. You have Kalia Davis. And I love Kalia Davis as an interior rusher as well. So between Javon Hargrave, Eric Armstead, Kevin Givens, Kalia Davis, you have 4 guys in the interior that can really rush the passer, which I think is absolutely key. Now it's just going to be, do they bring back Ridgeway, who's more of a 2-gapper, a power player, more of a run defender? Do they bring him back? Do they bring back T.Y. McGill? They had 7 free agents along the defensive line, but I'm really glad they picked Givens. Why? Because Givens is healthy. Givens has a motor. He's a proven interior rusher. If you're going to play the movement game and all kinds of stunting games up front, Givens becomes that much more valuable. Where Givens struggles is if he's got to play down after down after down after down, anchoring inside. Then he can be moved in the run game. I think everybody knows that. But if you play him in a rotation as a pass rusher, he can give you an awful lot. He really can. There aren't too many guys 290 who play with leverage and move like Kevin Givens does. So great re-signing by the 49ers to get him in the fold. And it just kind of shows on day one of free agency, the 49ers prioritize the defensive line more so than other teams. They believe that, everything on their defense is predicated by a big physical defensive line that moves the quarterback off his spot. So what does that mean? Well, that means you need athletes and you can't fake it. And you got to have big time guys and you need depth. And let's be honest, the 49ers have had maybe the deepest defensive line ever put together the last couple of years. They've had depth. They've gone into camp with like 13, 14, 15 guys who could all play. You could make an argument that of their 15 guys they show up in camp with, 10 of them could be starters. I mean, Kevin Givens could start on a lot of teams. Drake Jackson could start on a lot of teams. Omenihu could start on other teams. Jordan Willis could start on other teams. So, I mean, it's just the 49ers are really, really deep up front. And they knew that their defensive line needed attention. And then to sign Javon Hargrave and to re-sign Kevin Givens to keep him off of the restricted free agent market, it's a great start. Now, of the rest of those guys, I guess Ebukam's going to get the most, and I would say it's most likely that he walks away. It's a phenomenal draft for edge rushers, so do not overreact for the edge rushers. But defensive tackle is not as deep. And, getting Givens re-signed, signing Javon Hargrave, there are guys on the defensive end in the draft that they can get to replace Ebukam. They can replace Jordan Willis. They can replace Charles Omenihu. I don't know that they can replace, I don't know they can get the equivalent of a Javon Hargrave in the draft. I would say it's very unlikely. I've looked intensely at all of the defensive tackles in the draft. I'm not seeing, there's guys that I like every year, but I don't see the depth at that position that I do on the edge. If you want to need an edge rusher in this draft, 15, 20 guys. And there's all kinds of edge rushers. Defensive tackle wise, there's Mozzie Smith. I like him. There's Zach Pickens from South Carolina. I like him. There's Kalijah Cansey from Pitt, but he's going in round 1. There's some guys Dawan Johnson from Toledo is a day 3 guy. Jason Ademilola from Notre Dame, day 3 guy. Adi Tamiwa Adibare from Northwestern had an incredible was a Senior Bowl or East-West practice, and then an incredible combine. He's really, really talented, probably going to go high. So, I mean, it's going to be, but then there's not the depth. Like, I like those guys, but the depth at that position just really is not there. So that's a concern. Then you look at the defensive end group in the draft, and Will McDonald, Iowa State, awesome, freakish athlete, little undersized, but awesome. Isaiah Foskey, Notre Dame. I love Isaiah Foskey, De La Salle kid. I'd be very excited if they got Foskey. Zach Harrison from Ohio State, 5-star defensive end out of high school. Didn't really do it for the Buckeyes, but man, he might be the prototype athletically. Derek Hall from Auburn, awesome. Love him as a player. Byron Young from Tennessee. I loved his combine. I loved his tape. And now we're getting into the next level. Andre Carter, the second from Army, kind of reminds me of a young Jason Taylor coming out of Akron. Jose Ramirez, the defensive end who played at the same school that produced Max Crosby, Eastern Michigan. Jose Ramirez can play for me any day of the week. I love him. Yaya Diaby from Louisville's an athlete. Thomas Incoom from Central Michigan is a terrific player. Ali Gay from LSU, in a lot of ways, is the physical prototype. And then there's even late day 3 guys that I'm really excited about. Tyrus Wheat from Mississippi State. If you watched him, he's a little short, but man, he's got a lot of the traits I look for in an edge rusher. Rhett Hall's son, Cade Hall, who played for San Jose State. I think he would be a day 3 steal. Remember this name, Brevin Allen, who played at Campbell. You say, Campbell? I've never heard of Campbell. Well, you know what? You may not have heard of Brevin Allen, and you haven't heard of Campbell, but they'll be talking about Brevin Allen out of Campbell for years to come. And then there's other guys in the free agent market. I like Leonard Floyd. Leonard Floyd, I think, would be a terrific pickup. I love this kid, Agbania Okoronkwo, who played for the Raiders this year. And he was a 5th-round pick in the 2018 draft. He had 5 sacks and about 518 snaps this year with Vegas after kind of coming into the league and sitting on the bench with the Rams. So there's more guys to be had for sure in free agency and the draft, but overall, great addition to re-sign Kevin Givens. I really think if they had left him out there, he would have gotten a significant offer and it would have been difficult to match. Instead, the Niners were proactive, got him signed on the first day of free agency, and now they're rewarded with a 290-pound, defensive tackle who has pass rush ability, movement ability, who knows the system, who Kosherick and the defensive coaches love, who fits in the locker room. Getting Kevin Givens re-signed was a terrific addition by the 49ers. All right, hope you enjoyed our Pig in a Pickle Krug Show 49er video. And of course, we're just back from Scottsdale, courtesy of New York style Italian sausage. But check out our sponsors, Pig in a Pickle. They're in Corte Madera, open 7 days a week in Corte Madera, and they're open Wednesday through Sunday in Emeryville, the best barbecue in the Bay Area, Pig in a Pickle. And we'll have more Niner videos as free agency rolls on this week, leading right into the April NFL draft.